Hi, it's Marianne, your Valiant Technology Training Manager. We know a lot of people are working remotely for the first time, so we wanted to create a lot of content to sort of help with that transition. We're making videos like this one, a couple of written guides, and a couple of live streaming Q&As about how to still be productive, how to use some of your tools for remote work, and how to keep in touch with your coworkers. So you've probably seen a couple of articles that have more broad advice for things like make sure you keep up your routine, schedule video meetings so that you can feel connected and have sort of a more in-person type of feel. And honestly, we have an article for that too, so check that out. But I wanted to make a few videos that are a little bit more technically specific and how to use the specific ways that you're logging in. So without further ado, let's talk VPN best practices. So what is a VPN? Basically, it's a private tunnel connecting users to their office network and the server. It's a very secure way to connect, but it can be slow at times. And we've already received a couple of service-related requests about things regarding the VPN connections. Now, some of them are just people aren't sure how to log in. So for that, we've made some how-to guides, which you can find at thevaliantway.com and in our remote work section. But for things like when you already are able to connect, but it's still not quite working the way you want to, that's what we're going to go over today, to how to use VPN the best. And keep in mind that VPN congestion is a thing. Everyone's trying to use it, so anything you do is going to affect your coworkers and vice versa. So if we can all get on board with VPN best practices, it'll make it a better experience for everyone. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the realities of VPN. So it's never going to be as fast as working from your office. It's just the nature of the remote work using a VPN. So even with the stuff we're talking about today, just expect it to go a little bit slower. Your home internet is going to affect your speeds. Now, I'm not saying that you need to upgrade your internet at home, but just keep in mind that it's not just the speed of your office connection, it's also the speed of the connection you're using at home. So do think about that when you're trying to connect. That's normally I would say things like don't use the Wi-Fi at a coffee shop or don't use other sorts of public Wi-Fi, but the CDC is already recommending against that for completely unrelated reasons, obviously. So that'd be a little redundant, but just keep in mind that you do have limitations, which is your home internet connection as well. And then lastly, think about the old adage, you're not in traffic, you are traffic. And basically what that means is if it's slow because of congestion, you're also contributing to that. So that's why these best practices are going to be good for you and all your coworkers to work through. Okay, now that we've set your expectations for VPN, let's talk about optimizing it. When you use VPN, you don't need to be connected all day. That's important. And in fact, you shouldn't be connected all day. Instead, when you log in, copy and paste the files that you need to your local desktop or a folder on your local computer, and then disconnect. You can work on it without being connected to the VPN, and when you're done, connect again and upload it back to the server. So that's a really good way to get rid of some of that traffic during the time that you're working on it. You don't really want to be working on things directly on the server. You want to copy and paste it to your computer. Secondly, there are some applications that have web versions. So anytime you can use the web version, do that. Do that from your local computer, and it'll actually help free up bandwidth for the VPN itself. So for example, if you use Outlook for mail, instead of going into the VPN, opening the Outlook application, go to outlook.office.com or office.com and navigate to Outlook. Use their web version. It's actually, Outlook in particular is really robust, and I know a couple people who prefer it to the local application. So check that out. If you're not sure if one of the functions that you use has a web-based version that you can get to, check out the company website. I know Office 365 has a lot. Obviously, Gmail is based on the browser, is where it started, but a lot of things that you have will have web versions that you can use instead. And then I mentioned earlier about your home internet connection. There are things that you can do to get the most out of that and to get it to be the most efficient. So if you're able to, one of the best things to do is to make sure you're hardwired in. So this means don't just connect over Wi-Fi, actually grab an Ethernet cable and plug it into your computer. Or in my case, I have to use an adapter because of my laptop. So plug it into your computer or adapter And then find your modem and plug it into any open outgoing port on your modem. That will make it so you're hardwired and you're not going to be doing all that traffic over the wireless. And generally, it's generally faster that way. So if you can do that, do that. The second one might be a little difficult because I know that at this time everyone's home. So you might have kids, you might have your partner, you might have roommates who all need to use the internet as the same. But if you can, limit the bandwidth intensive applications that you might use. So this might be streaming video like Netflix, or you know, internet-based video games like World of Warcraft, or don't do video conferencing when you're VPNing because the quality of both is going to suffer. Because you're going to be disconnecting as soon as you get the files that you want, there'll be plenty of time for people to use the media that they need. You just need to have that small window where you need to get those files, you need it to be faster, so maybe everyone can take a pause. So if you can do that, and that'll help free up your bandwidth for VPN connection as well. Okay, so follow these VPN best practices and you will be golden. We're going to keep releasing content that we hope will be really helpful with this transitionary period and working from home, working remotely. That's so different for so many people. So keep an eye out. The two best places to find it is you can go to our COVID-19 remote work page where we're aggregating all this content at thevaliantway.com. Or just follow us on LinkedIn because we are posting a lot of these as we're creating them, trying to get that out there. So if you follow us on LinkedIn, you can get updates from us in your feed. You can follow us. It's a great way to get all of this content that we're creating. Great. So thank you so much for watching and have a good day.